And so today we will talk about C, calculus and safety. Yeah, I just wanted to give you some time to click off this video. Yeah, I know, bit of a weird topic, but there is something I want to tell you about, because you see, there's a channel on YouTube called Robert Miles. Now, Robert Miles makes videos about AI safety, and he himself divided it into 4 categories. There's the misuse, which basically means using the AI in a way that may be dangerous. And then there's the accident, which basically means that AI is by design dangerous. Now, when it comes to short-term things, you have stuff like deepfakes.
Hey guys, did you know that in terms of male human and female Pokemon breeding,
which is obviously the misuse, or stuff like self-driving car crashes. But short-term is relatively easy to solve and not that dangerous. The really dangerous one is the long-term. Long-term misuse is really similar to really highly advanced weapons, but instead of weapons you have really advanced AI systems. Long-term design problems are more about asking the question, how are we going to create something that's smarter than us, yet we control? And it's a much harder question to answer. That's why today I won't be talking about them, I'll be talking about the opposite side of the spectrum, which basically means short-term misuse. No, but for real, I do have something that I want to talk about today, because you see, here's basically a kind of oversimplified version of how AIs work and why we need them. Let's imagine that we have some set of points on a 2D plane, right? We just have these points and we know that they basically come from some sort of function. Now what we need is we need the AI that would basically connect these points together to predict what this function is. Thank you, Past Make It, for explaining it incorrectly, because AI will not connect the dots, it will try to predict an output of a function. In order to understand how that works, imagine that I have a secret function, some sort of secret equation, and I don't want you to share my private information so you don't know what it is. But I'm more than happy to help when it comes to using that function, so every time you give me a number, I'll reply with this number after passing it through the function. Now everything could be handy dandy here, except you're an ambitious informatician and you want to create an application where any person could just add their own number and get the output in return. And right away, that would seem like a pretty big problem. I mean, how are you supposed to create an application if you don't know what it is supposed to do? Well, the trick comes with the fact that you can try to predict the outputs of this function by using a different function. How? Well, that's machine learning. So all you do is you create a neural network and you train it. You train it on my secret function output. So basically you ask me a couple of numbers, I give you some numbers back, and then you train the neural network on those pairs of numbers. And the neural network will create some sort of function. Will be actually some sort of function that would fit in those inputs. But there's a problem. What about the stuff in between those numbers? Well, it could be correct, but it could also be wrong. It could be normal, but it could also be extremely large or extremely small. Well, you see, the entire point of machine learning is to predict those outputs. That means we cannot safe test every single input, and that wouldn't seem as that much of a problem until you realize that this number could actually be dangerous. And it's all because of undefined behavior. Yeah, if you know the C programming language, then you know why a C programmer cares about undefined behavior. Because C is a hard programming language, and the only reason why it's hard is because of undefined behavior. So yeah, we C programmers tend to be pretty good at avoiding it. But the problem is that when you're creating a neural network, you're most likely creating it in Python or some high-level language, which is convenient, but it means you usually don't think about undefined behavior. That's not something you come across really often. Which means you might miss out on one very important detail when it comes to AIs. You see, we have to treat every single output that AI will give us as random. And I don't mean random like between 1 and 10. No, random as if any possible number in the world could be there. Why? Because of safety. You see, there are many AIs that can generate an image based on a prompt, right? You give it some text and generates the image. But I don't know if you noticed, that these images usually have a fixed size. They are always the same size, the same height and the same length. Why is that? Well, we could just give the AI control over the image size, right? That seems decent. If it can create images, it surely can also pick the size for the image. And whilst, that would be neat, it's really dangerous. Why? Well, here's the thing. Let's consider just an AI that was supposed to predict the image size based on the prompt. So you give it some text and it predicts what should be the size of the image for that text. Now we have some prompts, right? Some texts, and we have the corresponding image sizes. What we need is we need just a function that would connect all these dots. So we create an AI for it and it looks pretty good, right? Well, yeah, but there is a problem. Any point that we didn't actually check should be treated as a random value. Which basically means if you give it a complete new prompt, it could give you something reasonable, like for example 600 pixels, or maybe 2000 pixels, or anything like that. But as I said, we have to treat it as random. And we can't really say with certainty that it won't give you something like 2 pixels, which wouldn't be that bad until you realize that it can also give you 7 trillion pixels, and your system will probably crash. Now those problems are really easy to avoid, because for example, for our image size example, all we have to do is just clamp it. So if the AI gives you any size that's smaller than 100, then just use 100. If the AI gives you any size that's bigger than 4000, so 4K, then you just put it back down to 4K. That's pretty simple. But if the fix is so simple, then why am I talking about this? Well, it's because in C, which as I said is a relatively hard programming language, fixes to undefined behavior are always that simple. But it's really hard to notice where the undefined behavior may occur. So yes, while the fixes are really easy to implement, you not always know where should you apply this fix. I mean, the image size example was obvious after I explained it, but before you might have just created an AI that would pick an image size, and it could work. It could work really fine for weeks, for months, until one fateful day someone gives it a prompt that crashes the whole system. Oh, I feel like Tom Scott for some reason. Now, I would really like to mention a couple of things, the kind of ad segment. I get that most of you will skip this, but here's the thing, couple of things. So, first of all, I have a Discord server. Would really recommend going there if you want to check it out. Over there, I explain some more things to my videos. I also organize some stuff for the live streams and stuff like this. I also have a Patreon. If you'd like to get some bonus benefits for money, then I would really appreciate it. And then also, hopefully, I don't know when will this video go live, but hopefully I still should be doing daily charity checkups, which is just a charity stream where I stream for charity. DBS Alliance. There's a link https://makeit.wtf/charity/ where you can go and you can basically donate to DBS Alliance and get a slice of pie for yourself, of this pie chart. So yeah, would really recommend checking it out, and that'll be it. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.